Massive data leak. 200 billion files exposed in cloud buckets. Gee, who'd have thunk it? Well, you would have. You're a regular viewer here. From documents and credentials to source code and internal backups, billions of files are leaking due to misconfigured cloud storage buckets. Cyble, a cybersecurity company specializing in dark web monitoring and threat intelligence, said its vulnerability search tool has detected more than 660,000 exposed buckets and 200 billion leaking files across 7 major cloud providers. Filtering the data for just 3 sensitive data types, credentials, source code, and confidential files, yielded millions of compromised files. I just want to read that again because I want you to I just want you to soak into your brain the verbiage behind this paragraph. Filtering the data for just 3 sensitive data types, credentials, source code, and confidential files, yielded millions of compromised files. You know what that means? That means that if you're going to filter out this kind of data and only focus on that, then what data still exists that wasn't filtered for? Filtering for source code and the Go language, for example, yielded 5.6 million results, the firm said. Filtering for ENV credentials returned 110,000 results, and a search for confidential files returned more than 1.6 million results, a Cyble researcher said. Now, what do you think? Do you think that AI makes us better or worse? Just an additional little, I just wanted to throw that in there. You know? And as programmers, we all know what the ENV file is, right? It's where you store a lot of your sensitive information about the state of the thing you're running, including potentially private keys that allow you to have access to internal systems, deployment systems, etc. And it opens up the door for you to get access to further down the chain stuff. The number of exposed cloud storage buckets is more than 30% higher compared to August last year. That's right, 30% higher than August last year. We're talking about not even a year later. When Cyble's analysis returned more than 500,000 exposed buckets, the security firm warns that storage bucket exposure is a very common cause of data leaks. Data is often left publicly available due to misconfigurations. Managing access to cloud storage buckets can be challenging even for the largest organizations, and misconfigured cloud buckets are all too common. While cloud storage is typically private by default, it can quickly get complicated when you start sharing objects or resources. And this is exactly what I've been talking about since before even AI came around. AI will only exacerbate this issue because it necessarily removes your ability to think, because that's the whole point of AI. Think less, do more, quote unquote. But before AI, this was already a problem because we obfuscated and abstracted and complicated the processes that we were using up until AI came along to speedrun the entire process now. And those complications were sold in the name of, look at how much simpler it is to deploy an entire suite of services or servers or whatever. But at what cost? Nobody ever asked that question. And it's always a reactive. You're always in firefighting mode when you look at the cost of these things and what you have to do, because you complicated the entire process more than you had to in the name of, but it's easy. You don't have to think about this. Just push the button and do it. And now nobody can keep track of this. And again, one more time, I am not just saying that. I have gone over the studies that prove this. I have studies that I haven't yet covered where DevOps and sysadmin people are frustrated with the amount of complexity that's part of their deployment pipeline, which includes solutions like this with buckets. They can't even determine how much stuff is going on and being built inside of their systems. It's absolutely impossible to be a sysadmin or DevOps and know every single individual piece of something you're doing, generally speaking, these days. And the reason why? Because it's all abstracted and complicated, and it's made to be way bigger and way more than it ever needed to be. So now imagine that you're taking AI and you're just repackaging that entire sales pitch, but you're saying now it just all gets done faster, and it's all pre ready for you, and there's even less that you have to concern yourself with, even less stuff to worry about. This kind of stuff will only get worse. That's what this means. And I'm not looking forward to the consequences of having the stuff that I've been complaining about on these streams, plus AI, plus the continued, things that I'm covering here, just continue to get worse. It's a bleak thing to think about. But I will add that it's not too late to turn the ship around. We can absolutely turn the ship around and do some good things here, but it requires people like you out there to at least hear my message and, pull your weight, so to speak, right? That's what I'm asking programmers to do. We have to pull our weight around here.